Relics Radio, your favorite weekly podcast dedicated to the metal detecting and treasure hunting community. Here are your hosts, Ken from Adventures in Dirt and Tony from 5280 Adventures.
Okay, it's Thursday night. It's 8 p.m. Eastern, and here I am, standing here talking. Well, I'm sitting here talking to you. Thursday night, Relics Radio, 7th season for Relics Radio. Can you believe it? 7th season. Thank you, Loy. Thank you, Jeff, for putting this program together. Happy to kind of take the reins and run with it for sure. And I couldn't do it without a certain person that hangs out with me. Let's check this out. You got to listen to this. You know what that means, right? Do you know what that music means? Yeah, Mr. 5280 Adventures. One more time.
What's up?
What's up, buddy?
Nada. Dude, you're right. It's Thursday night. Season 7 already?
Jeez. Season 7. Seven seasons. There's 7 years of this thing going on.
You know what's great though? You and I both are very blessed to have carried on this torch for Loy and Jeff, and all, for so long they did an outstanding job. You and I were both guests in the first season of this.
We were.
How interesting is that? How just
really
blessed.
Cool. And I remember I remember being so excited to be invited to be a guest on that show.
That was amazing.
And I was just like, are you kidding me? That was awesome, And now that we've been part of it and kind of on the other side of it, we're just like, we're
seasons, bro. Come on. Come on.
We are total professionals. You guys should have seen me tonight trying to get my mic to work. You would have seen the total professional, not. No, it was almost as bad as you didn't push the button, dummy.
Right. It's the red button.
So now a little different. You're not in your studio today.
No, I'm actually up in beautiful Fort Collins, Colorado. My daughter is graduating from Colorado State University on Saturday. So we're up here hunkered down for the weekend. I've got family that came into town and down in a basement, just in a makeshift studio. If you can't tell, like behind me, you see this nice little stick wall here. I mean, it looks like I'm in a battlefield, but really I'm just in a basement.
That's not your sister's backyard?
No, we're not in the backyard. I wish I'd be out there metal detecting instead of talking to you.
My background's not real either. This is all just,
Get out of here. All those machines.
It's just duplicate. my disco light. Gotta have my disco light going. Shoot. How's the week been, man?
Geez, let's see. It was short because I took off Thursday, Friday, so I'll take a 4-day weekend. But let's see. Otherwise, weather was okay. We went out. Hey, you know what? We went out digging last weekend.
Yeah, we're kind of on a roll with that. I know we hit it real hard for a number of weeks.
Yeah,
and we kind of took a couple of breaks with vacation and honey-do lists around the house and stuff, and getting stuff done, and then we hit it real hard last weekend. That was a lot of fun with a couple of people we have on the show tonight.
I know. How exciting is that? We're going to probably be able to talk a little bit about that, but talk about some other things, some traveling that these three guys have done and met up and found some pretty incredible history.
Yeah. I can't wait to talk to him about that. And
am
I allowed to even talk to you about what you may have found this last weekend, or are we laying off that for a little while?
You know what? Thanks it's a great segue. Thank you. This Saturday morning, a new video is coming out. I found something pretty, we talk about it all the time, right? You find something, you have no idea what it is, and then you can start going down the rabbit hole, and all of a sudden that historical value of it just kind of skyrockets through the roof and just amazes you. That's kind of what I found. So real short video. It's like a 2.5-minute video, just something I threw together real quick about this find and this relic. And so Saturday morning, 5280 Adventures on YouTube. And I'm sure I've got it all over other social media out there. So stay tuned and you guys will be able to see it. But I am taking it to the Eureka Treasure Hunting Club tomorrow.
Shoe in.
I gotta try and win Find of the Month. Come on.
Nice shiny dime.
Yes.
You're going to be walking home with one shiny dime.
I hope so. We'll see. We'll see. It's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool.
Amazing.
Great story to it.
You guys turn out videos so darn fast, man. I just can't seem to do it. I got so many in the works and just not finished. And
Quality over quantity. I tell you what, you put out the quality, we put out the quantity.
Yeah, they're great. I've been really enjoying the videos coming out lately. I've been watching a lot, and man, I just haven't had time to put out any videos the past few weeks. You've had vacation interrupting, and then some issues with my mom and stuff, and it was just like it's just been hitting me. Right?
Yeah.
Get to Sunday, I'm like, man, I haven't had a second to even think about video editing or getting any videos recorded. So, who's in the chat?
Hey, we got Bill Hayes that popped in a little bit early. We were chatting with Bill for a quick second. Welcome on, Bill. It's always good to see you. Mr. Larry Hogan.
Hey, Larry.
Hey, Larry. Yeah. Yeah. Janet Chapman checking in on us. Some guy named some like snowboard guy named Ski Searcher.
He must ski a lot.
Yeah, he's probably up in the mountains or something. I don't know.
Oh, I heard of that dude. He like skis and searches. He's like looking, you can only look in front of him, though. You can't look behind him because if he looks behind him, he'll fall on his butt.
That's right. Yeah. Metal Detecting No-Co's in the chat. Dirt Clod Metal Detecting. Welcome on, Dirt Clod.
All right. Good to see everyone. Yep. Jersey Red Diggs. Rachel, how are you?
Bill Ohio Relic Hunter. And we kind of just, it's something we do every single week is just kind of check in on everybody that's in there and acknowledge the people that are here live with us. It's really nice to have such great support every single Thursday on Relics Radio from these people. So I wanted to definitely acknowledge you guys and thank you and put your names out there so you can all hear it. So.
And for those of you listening on the replay later, we see your numbers and stuff. Be sure to reach on out and say hello. We loved hearing from you. And we know not everyone can watch live or listen live, but we see you out there and we appreciate you downloading the show and continuing to tell a friend about it and turn people on to Relics Radio, 7th year. Earlier I posted this, that we were going to be, usually we post our upcoming show on Thursdays. Just people usually have short attention spans. So we put them out on Thursdays, the night of the show, the day of the show. And today's theme was to kind of traveling and meeting other people in the community. And Rachel, Jersey Ray Diggs, right there in the chat earlier, she put that she traveled about 10,000 miles last year.
Wow.
That is a lot of road trip. That is
good
a lot
for her.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'd love to do it with Rachel for sure. Just a riot.
Yeah, someday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The list is long, right?
Yeah, definitely. So welcome, everyone. PA Relic Hunters. Good to see you, man. You guys have been on fire lately, for sure. I got them coming up in my next video, I believe. Finding some great stuff out there. Hey, let's bring our guests in. So we have a few of them tonight. It's not going to be as big as England. Remember that England show we did?
Yeah, that was overwhelming. Overwhelming. Now tonight we're going to have 5 of us together in the same room and be able to just kind of have a little bit more control over it. I hope they don't trip. I don't have the lights on here except for my disco lights. Come on in, guys. We're all going to share one mic. It'll be interesting. But yeah, let's bring them on. Yeah, we got a few of them down there. Well, all right. So we're gonna bring them on here. We're gonna add Michael. Metal Detecting No-Co. What's up, Michael? And how are you, man? We've got Matt, Ski Searcher. Hello, Matt. Oh, look at that. Oh, there it is. And then we've got this guy named Jeff who seems to out detect everybody. The faceless one. We're just calling him the faceless one tonight. Matt, how are you, man? Matt's out on the ski already. Look at that.
I'm good.
Yep.
Got me some ski, chilling.
Oh, so that's what ski means. Oh, man. Oh. I didn't know. Right there. So if people haven't heard the story, Matt, tell us the ski story. Just forever, huh?
It is my favorite freaking soda, man. Yeah. I got sober like 10 years ago, and I just kind of replaced beer with soda. I know soda is bad for you too, but so I drink a lot of ski, and I go search for old stuff. So there you go. Yep. Hence the name Ski Searcher. So. Yes, Ski Searcher. You do very well at it as well. And we're going to have links to his channel down below, Ski Searcher on YouTube. We'll put it in the description down below on the audio podcast and also on the below here in the description of this video, this live stream and stuff. So
Excellent. Thanks for being with us tonight, Matt. We appreciate it. Now you're in Illinois, right?
Southern Illinois.
All right.
yes.
Different altogether.
Yeah, not that northern Illinois. They're cool.
They're okay.
We're kind of a different people.
Now, where's Tim Ildigger? Is he one of those northern?
Oh, Tim's a northerner.
He's a northerner.
He's a good person though.
He's a good northerner.
It's one of those good ones. Michael, how are you tonight, man?
Awesome. How you guys doing?
Yeah,
Michael.
Metal Detecting NoCo on YouTube. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, first, if you're not from Colorado, NoCo probably means nothing to you. NoCo is just short for Northern Colorado, like here in Fort Collins, which
correct.
FOCO for short.
Yeah,
We've got a lot of that. Maybe there's something for Denver. I don't know, but
Loco.
Loco. Sí. Exactamente.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
So you have a YouTube channel, Michael. You've been putting out some great videos lately.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that because I'm in many of them, but I'm just saying you've been putting out some great videos lately.
Well, all the good ones have you in there.
Yeah, me just shaking my head because you guys are finding everything. Just going, man, you guys found it again. I come home, my mother who lives with me calls and she says, "Did you find anything? Oh, I'm so excited. Did you find something?" I found plenty, but
Yes, I haven't been in the game very long, the metal detecting or the YouTube game, but about a year and a half ago, I found something really cool with my new metal detector, and I thought, I've seen these guys on YouTube do this. I should do this too. And the first 50 videos were terrible. I've since removed them. And since then, I got the idea, I should bring on some more guys. Some of my favorite channels have more than one person, except for Brad. Brad does really well by himself. Green Mountain. But not a lot of guys can pull it off by themselves and be entertaining. And I invited you guys out to a really cool permission out here. And I said, I like you and Tony and Jeff. And we clicked just like that. And it seems like ever since then,
over here, this guy.
Yeah, that guy. We just had some great times, even on the days where we don't find anything. I just have a blast with you guys.
It's a totally different experience now that we've kind of all gotten together, and you used to dig by yourself a lot. And you said that it's a different body having everybody there and finding stuff. And then that passion all comes out and the excitement all comes out for each other.
Yeah. It's a lot less awkward though, also because, you're walking around the park or even private property talking to the camera. People just think you're crazy and you're talking to yourself. And I kind of feel that way sometimes. I feel like, this is just weird. I've done several videos without you guys here in the last few weeks, and it's just not the same. I love going out with you guys. And Matt. We had a great time with Matt, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
That's right.
And Mr. Jeff.
Yeah, who's this Jeff guy? Look at this.
Well, I'm honored to be on Michael's favorite channel list for YouTube. I do have a YouTube channel, but I think my last video was 7 years ago, and it's not metal detecting related. So it is a musical YouTube.
There you go.
But in terms of I echo everything Michael just said. Nothing beats being able to meet you guys and just have the camaraderie, and we all get it, and I'm trying to explain to someone when you dig something out of the ground and you're like, why are you excited about this? Why did you choose to spend an hour trying to dig grandma's brooch?
There it is.
15 minutes in, we got it.
Jeff's the winner of probably more nicknames and possible YouTube channel names than I think anybody. We just keep, every time we go out, it's like, okay, now he's Mr. Merc. Okay, he's
that's right.
He's it just is endless, and everything has to do with grandma. So
yeah,
what were you saying earlier, Jeff? You had come up with a great name, like grandma's closet. Grandma's, what'd you say?
Grandma lost some stuff.
Grandma lost some stuff.
Always grandma.
Yeah.
Always grandma.
Yeah. YouTube channel. Grandma lost some stuff.
And here's the kind of touchy-feely part about it. my grandma is still alive and she's 102 years
Wow.
old.
Wow.
So when I find something, it always relates to like, okay, it's tough in Colorado to find something, 1923 and before. So anyway, I love my grandma, and being out on hunts and being able to give back to, if we find something from the family, that's my favorite.
Yeah. Over in the chat, Ohio Relic Hunter he asked, is there a story about Grandma's brooch? Or where did the whole Grandma's brooch thing come from?
Okay. All right. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I did not originate the grandma's brooch.
Oh no,
okay?
Michael.
No, it's not Mike. Okay, so I was really lonely when I started detecting, and I was so lonely that I bought my buddy a detector. And when he goes out, he says some really ridiculous stuff. So the whole time he's like ridiculing me. He's like, "Hang on, I can't listen right now. I got to dig this buffalo nickel real quick, or I got to dig this silver quarter real quick." And then one day he's like, "We're gonna go out there and find Grandma's brooch." So
you stole it.
I told him, I said, "Hey man, I'm taking this prime time.
Yeah,
take this prime time." So.
Yeah, you're already. I mean, geez, you've been in countless videos already about Grandma's brooch. You're coming up in the chat about Grandma's brooch.
And he recently did. He found.
And and you recently did find Grandma's brooch.
Yeah, that was pretty.
I found it, and just a little thing about that. One of the first times I've been able to find. So I'm a member on Ancestry. And I was able to take like an engraved thing I found at that site and find the family. And there's only one lady that lived at that place. So I know what Grandma's name was in this case, which is kind of special.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Matt, you ever found anything that you've been able to return to a family member or trace it down or anything like that?
No, I did ring recoveries, but haven't been able to trace nothing back yet. That is like a bucket list thing for me. Yeah, find something special. I really want to find a love token.
Yeah.
On a piece of property, and I could connect it maybe to the ancestors, and the landowners,
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Wow.
That would be really cool, man. I think anytime you can do that, it just adds another layer to what we do, I was trying to explain metal detecting to somebody recently. Somebody totally wasn't into it. And what do they always want to know? Whenever you talk about gold? Oh, okay, what else? How much is it worth, right? Yeah.
How much is it worth?
How much? And as I kept digging into these type of things, they were like, wow, I never thought of that. Like, wow, I had no idea that, the research and the learning about history and learning about the items you find and what the rabbit holes that lead you down, and then being able to possibly return something to some, remaining family member, generations later. I never thought about it. I thought it was all about finding treasure and how much things you found were worth. Like, no, when we approach homeowners, right, that's kind of the thing. We're looking for buttons and buckles and stuff with names on it and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, why do you want that crap?
Right.
Like, oh, that's why we're nerds about this stuff, Excellent. Well, I appreciate y'all being here for sure. I mean, normally, you guys wouldn't all know each other because you were in Colorado and you're in Illinois, Southern Illinois. Sorry, Matt. And
no offense.
But there was a period where there's a couple layers of this story, actually. So I think Michael was heading out. He was going on a trip. He was going on a road trip, and he was heading to somewhere. I'll let him tell you here in a minute. But you know how it is. Everyone out there listening, let me know in the chat too. You're going to go on a road trip, or you have to travel for business, or you have to go somewhere, and you're like, man, I don't know anybody there. Like, how am I going to do metal tech? I guess I can just go knock on doors, but it'd be cool if I found somebody that metal detected there that could kind of, show me around the area and make sure I'm doing it right and not, against any kind of regulations. And so that kind of started that. Michael, where were you going?
That's a great question. See, we were on kind of an open-ended trip. My wife and I went out to visit family in Oklahoma, and that trip brought us to Missouri. And then from Western Missouri, we're like, let's go to Eastern Missouri. There was a long story behind that. And then it turned into, well, we're in Eastern Missouri. Let's go to Kentucky. We've always wanted to go, let's just go across the border and stay a night in Paducah. And as all this was unfolding, I said, I've got to reach out like online and just see if I can find somebody maybe in Kentucky or wherever we're going to be staying who might want to meet up with me, and maybe I could do a video if we find anything. Either way, it would just be fun to be in the South, because if you don't live in Colorado, we have 150 years of modern history if we're lucky. So to go even just a few states east, you just add a century and a half, 2 centuries of history that we just don't have here. Long story short, as I reached out on the Relics Radio group, and Matt was kind enough to say, hey, yeah, I'm in Southern Illinois, but it's just over the river. I'll take you out. And then he actually ended up connecting me with Brian from Family Treasures Metal Detecting. So we spent Friday. But here's where the story gets really crazy. So we're in Kentucky, and Jeff, Mr. Merck, just happens to be out in Kentucky for a funeral, unfortunately. But it worked out perfectly. I mean, the timing and the location was perfect. So Jeff met up with me and Brian the first day. We went to Southern Illinois. We'll get to that later. And then day 2 was Saturday. Met up with Matt, and he was just such a gracious host. Took us to, 5 different old sites. Wow. It was just an incredible weekend, for sure.
Now, Jeff, I knew you were planning some kind of trip. We talked about it, and I didn't know where you were going exactly in comparison to Michael. Did you know you were going to be fairly near him, or did you kind of discover that into the trip sometime?
So on my way out there, I joined the Kentucky Metal Detecting, the big metal detecting group that Kentucky has. And the first or second post was Michael being just saying, hey, looking to hook up with some metal detectorists out there. And I was like, no way. How is it that we're both going? And like he said, I was going out there for memorial service, and metal detecting was kind of my relief. And it like most people probably that listen to this program, there's a certain therapy that comes with just doing the search. It doesn't matter if you're finding stuff, just doing the searching. But if you look at the state of Kentucky, I was, it was about a 4 or 5 hour drive to Paducah from where I was. But once I got to Paducah, I was like, Michael, you're going to be in Paducah this week, and let's hook up. And so Michael brought me into what he had already had in the works with Matt and remind me, I'm sorry, Brian, Matt and Brian. So it was just kind of I'm so thankful for that opportunity that ended what was going to be a lonely drive home. I got to kind of stop and do that. So,
yeah, that's cool. And Matt, do you normally dig with digging partners, or you do a lot of solo searching?
I dig with a lot of different people from my club, and just my buddy Lance. He got into military like 2 years ago. I kind of took him under my wing, and he's already found tons of stuff. But as far as like YouTube collabs, there's not a lot of YouTubers that dig in Illinois. You got Yoda up north. We linked up once, and I dig with his buddy Will County Mark, who's in the chat now.
Mm-hmm. What's up, Will?
And awesome guy. Tom is an awesome dude, and we got to dig in one of my ghost towns, and had a good hunt there. I mean, Flying Eagle was found, 2 half dimes, Civil War button I found a large that day, and sword hanger. But as far as YouTubers, me and Tim Illdigger been trying to link up forever. It just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Let's see. I can't think of who else. I mean, there's not a whole lot of people that have channels in Illinois.
So what'd you think when you started getting messages from these yahoos from Colorado?
Well, I reached out. I seen Mike's post in the Relics Radio. I was like, Paducah, man, I'm like right here an hour away, and I told him where I was at. And I was like, I got tons of permissions over here. You guys come on over, a little Southern Illinois hospitality. We'll do some homestead hopping. And we ended up doing 3-4 homesteads, and then ended the day with the ghost town that I had just, in the back forever. I never detected the ghost town. It was just one of them sites that I was just keeping for a good day, And so it just turned out these guys showed up. We hit that ghost town last, and ended up being a pretty good day. I wish we had 2 days to detect. Yeah. I think we met up about 10 a.m. We dug until the sunset and had tons of laughs. We didn't only find some cool stuff. We had tons of laughs, huh, Jeff, Mike? I mean, we were cracking jokes all day. It's like when you got a motorcycle, if you meet someone else who has a motorcycle, I told them when we first met up, I was like, it's like you're automatically in the club. You have a metal detector, it's the same thing. It's like, what's up? Hey, we're brothers.
Yeah.
So I just, showed them that camaraderie, as metal detectors do. If you got a metal detector, and you're a good person. It did help that they knew you two, though, Ken and Tony. I said, you guys know Ken and Tony. I was like, look, I've been on Relics Radio before. I know the guys for a while, and they're key players in the community, and they help the community out. And I said, I want to help you guys out. And
what a community, though. It's just incredible that Ken and I talk a lot about, kind of mapping 50 states. Who do we know in every single state? You literally could stop by and visit. And I bet you, if you reached out to almost any person, in YouTube in that state and say, hey, I'm just passing through, they'd be like, okay, I'll take the day off. I'll meet you there. We'll do this. I got this site. Let's go hit it. And I think it's fantastic. I think, like you said, Matt, I just posted a short not too long ago on my YouTube channel, and I think it was titled something like, when you're at a dinner party and you hear somebody talking about metal detecting from across the room, and it's Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he takes down his hood and he goes, hello there. It's just something. You're like, oh, wait a minute. You know about metal detecting? Oh,
Right.
We're best friends now.
Right.
Forget about it. You're inseparable. Right. So, I think it's absolutely fantastic. I just can't replace that.
And thank you for not embarrassing us too bad.
Right. I know. Right.
I didn't want to take them to sites that I've just hammered. I was like, they're coming all the way from Colorado. They're trying to dig some older stuff over here. I was like, I happen to have some homesteads I hadn't hit. One homestead me and Lance hit for maybe an hour or so and left. But other than that, all the other sites were untouched by me. Now, there was a couple sites that we could tell, like an old schoolhouse we tried. It had been absolutely hammered. Tons of iron everywhere, and debris and stuff. But we didn't find I found a pocket knife, half of one. But we could tell it had been hit in the past. And that's okay. That's part of it, We tried. You don't know unless you go, and try it. But some of the other ones really produced, and we found some amazing stuff. And right off the bat, Jeff, Mr. Lucky Jeff, Grandma's Roach here. 15 minutes into it?
Yeah, was it the first target or something?
Less.
Dang near. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
the first 15 minutes.
He's done that a couple times to us already, just in 2024. So. It doesn't surprise me.
I'll let
Let's
Jeff
hear the story
on that.
Well, I do feel blessed in the things that I've found. That was my bonding moment with Matt, because and you guys know we don't have Civil War era. Let me rephrase. You have to know exactly where to go here in Colorado if you want to find Civil War era stuff, right? But the first thing I pulled was this. You remember how big was it? A 2.5? I think it was 2.5 inches. Like a piece of a grape shot. And actually, Matt knew immediately what it was, and in his response and his excitement, I was like, "Oh man, he gets it. He understands, you know." And then that was our bond, kind of for the rest of the day. But I don't often dig because it's a giant iron ball, you know. So I don't know what the signal was or why I even, you know.
I would have never dug that signal.
Yeah. But yeah,
isn't that crazy how that works out sometimes?
And it was right on the home site too. Like it was in, you know, we were all kind of scanning the area of where we thought the home was. But I'll let Matt, that I think the more interesting part of the story is why that piece of grape shot was there potentially. Matt can explain that.
Yeah, so there used to be an old church there that has been long gone, and it's not there anymore. But you know, I had read that soldiers drilled where that church used to be at. Now that could be anywhere by the church. You got to think back then the church was still standing, not there no more. So they didn't drill right on top of the church. It could have been the ground surrounding that church. So I had permission to farm fields around where that church sat. However, we were detecting an old homestead too. So we were finding stuff from that homestead, but then I told them, look, something Civil War could pop up. I don't know exactly where the soldiers were at here. They could have been right here. And then, you know, we start detecting the stuff, and he walks up to me with this freaking iron ball about the size of a baseball. And he's like, I'm pretty sure this is something. I'm not sure, man. He's like, what do you think? I was like, are you serious right now? I was like, dude, you got a cannonball. You have like a legit cannonball. It's called grape shot, but you know, it was fired with other ones, and they spread out like a cannon, man, or in the cannon they spread out, you know, like a shotgun blast. And he just, the look on his face, and we got it all on video. You know, you featured it on Adventures in Dirt, and that was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
But Mike caught his reaction to that, and that was awesome. And he's like, man, I didn't care if I found anything detecting that day. Okay. These guys made the long haul drive. So I was like, they have to find something or I'm going to feel bad. You know? And just to start off the hunt with a freaking grape shot from Jeff, I was like, all right, y'all can go home now. Yeah. That's awesome. The day was made. I mean, my day was made seeing Jeff dig that immediately. And then Mike ends up finding some awesome stuff too. He pulls a coin that he was just all giddy like a school kid when he found that coin. And I was so happy for him, you know. I was like, and I didn't know how long either one of them had been metal detecting, you know. Didn't know a lot about their past. We just had metal detectors. We linked up and we just hit it off, you know what I'm saying? Cracking jokes. It was almost like my long lost brothers from Colorado or something.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. Stuff. Michael, what were you thinking when you're like, oh boy, here we go? So we all dig together all the time, and Jeff does this all the time. He's it scores. So were you thinking, oh, here we go again?
I wasn't terribly surprised. Jeff actually found the first 2 targets. Jeff found the first target, 5 minutes in, was a wheat penny, right?
Yes.
So that gave us all hope that we're, getting close to, a house, proof of life. And then Jeff gets the second target, and the guys called me over, and I'm trying to find the shot right now. Maybe DK can pull it up faster than I can. But yeah, that photo of Jeff with the grape shot is just priceless.
Yeah. So did he? He's famous for he did this to me when he found a seated quarter. did he just come over like with the dumbfounded look and go, I think I have something here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good for that once a hunt. I tell you what.
I just remember Matt, hollering like, "You got something here." So I dropped whatever I was doing, whatever trash I was digging up. And it was one of those sites, again, when you're out of state and you're on different territory and you've got more history, I probably would have dug that same target. I don't care how trashy it sounds. And I dug a lot of trash that day, but it paid off because, that large coin I found, It sounds
I love
terrible.
that.
Yeah, tell us about that coin.
So it was at first, I mean, just the excitement of the size and just not knowing what it was is always, that's the thrill, right? It's just going, what is that? I think that's why
Right.
people watch YouTube. That's why I watch YouTube, is the what is it factor.
Mm-hmm.
So we all gathered around, and none of us could really recognize it. We were guessing and guessing, and you don't think you're going to find a foreign coin on a site that has so much American history. But, as I discovered in previous hunts, people went overseas, primarily in those days because of the war. They went to Japan, they went to Germany, to France, and they brought home souvenirs. So my best guess, it was a 5 French franc coin from 1933. And again,
Wow.
my best guess is
Beautiful.
Some GI came back, excellent condition. Some GI came back from the war and had a pocket full of maybe French and German Deutschmarks and French francs and God knows what else, and dropped it. So what do you think, Matt?
For you to come, 90 years later and find it.
Yeah, like I detected the site about a week later, found a French, it was a buckle. It was horse tack, but it had that French symbol in the middle of it. At first I thought it was a 4-leaf or a 3-leaf clover, but then I did some research and it was that French symbol. Not even going to try to pronounce it, but it was really cool, and it was right there where all of us were swinging at. Then I found another French coin, actually, 1940s, and that stuff, they're not terribly old coins, early 1900s, but it's just the fact that what we all found together there. And I also found a military hat pin from World War I or World War II. So that right there, he probably brought those coins back as keepsakes from the war when he was across seas or something. It's probably what happened. And those coins were probably mementos, for that soldier. You just never know, man. That's why I love metal detecting. You can start putting together the pieces of the past, from what you find. It's like a crime scene, there it is right there.
That was my favorite.
I think. Yeah, is that it?
Yeah.
That's not the one you dug.
Oh, it's similar.
example.
Yeah. Okay.
That was my favorite thing from that hunt was that hat pin that Matt pulled up.
That's crazy.
Why don't we take a look at some of these things they're talking about right here? First thing I'm going to show you Jeff's little round ball. He found cute little round ball.
Grandma's grape shot.
Grandma's
grape shot.
Right.
That's funny.
I've got Grandma's brooch somewhere. Let me find it.
I haven't heard Grandma's grape shot yet. That's a good one.
We're doing show and tell.
I like Grandma's grape shot.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
I saw something round and got excited. Wait! What you got? Oh, it's windy. What is that? Ow. No, is that what I think it is? Is that what I think it is? Everybody's looking. Oh, you have no idea. Drilling grounds here. Serious? Jeff, you got it, right?
Love it.
Grape shot, dude. Get out of the minute here. Civil War grape shot. This, it would have been fired out of a freaking cannon, man. Like, he said I got something. I was like, okay, it's going to be like, a piece of old copper or something with something on it, something like that. I didn't expect him to come. And I just got excited over a washer. Let's feel that.
Over a washer.
Like, we know that soldiers drilled next to his homestead, but it's like, okay, I didn't expect to find that this far away from it. We're close to it, within walking distance. So if they drilled, they would have been firing stuff like, everywhere. So wonderful start to the day. Absolutely. That's history right there, man.
Wow.
Amazing.
That's really cool.
A little better than my washer I found.
That was my favorite find that anybody did that day for me, was that grape shot that Jeff found.
Second only to Jeff's other find of the day. We'll get to that whenever you're ready, Jeff.
What were you guys swinging? What kind of machines you guys swinging?
Ooh.
I was swinging the Garrett AT Max.
Xterra Pro, MineLab Xterra Pro.
MineLab Equinox 800.
Very cool.
Anybody listening that swings that, they're probably mad at this point because I didn't use the lingo. It's called a Nox. Just Nox.
Just Nox for short.
You're being very specific.
Tell them what your grape shot rang up, Jeff.
Yeah.
It was real sketchy signal.
2.
All right, I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna say it was below 10, on my condensed scale. So it was
iron. It came in as iron.
Yeah. But big, like
right.
You can tell how big the target is. And I was like, what is this? What is this thing? I'll tell you what it reminded me of. It reminded me of digging a horseshoe.
I generally dig those targets as well. That same tone.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like horseshoes. I think they're still a part of history, and
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And depending on site you're at, man, I'll dig almost any large piece of iron signal. I mean, unless you start finding axles and stuff, but like, if it's an iron signal and it's large sounding, a large iron signal, as long as it's not a square nail signal,
right?
Square nails are cool too, but usually those are the more interesting things. It always turns out to be something interesting. Right. If it's a little jumping in those large iron numbers and stuff, always cool thing. I never forget Beth, our old digging partner, Beth, found that, what do you call it, Tony? The gun.
The cylinder to a revolver.
Yeah, the gun cylinder to an old revolver, like an old Colt.
Still had the bullets in it as well.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
So that was probably a backup, right? And then they would just change out the cylinder, and
you could do it
already loaded.
Yeah. I mean, I will tell you as well. I mean, digging the iron can really obviously benefit. I mean, you find in a grape shot, depending on the site. The site I was at, I dug iron and I got a artillery hammer. So, I mean, it sounded like garbage, but it was big and strong. And I was like, all right, I'm not digging anything right now. Let's dig this. And that comes up. So you never know.
You never know. That's awesome.
I mean, it's not a grape shot, but
One time I thought I found a cannonball, and it was an old homestead too. But there was no Civil War activity there. But this is when I first started detecting this thing. It looked like a solid shot cannonball, no doubt. I think it weighed 8 pounds, if I remember right. Well, someone was like, if you soak that and it has a number on it, it's a shot put ball. I was like, please don't be a number on this thing. It's got to be a cannonball, And I started soaking that thing in some rust remover. Here comes a little circle indentation on it with a little 8. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I legit found a shot put ball, not a cannonball, but it was an antique shot put ball.
Right.
It was an antique.
Wow.
That's kind of cool.
That's really cool.
It's nice that you could identify it.
Yeah.
Right.
It just wasn't a cannonball.
You're like, man, how come it's not a cannonball?
They could have been scrambling and just shooting whatever they could find. Who knows?
Sure it wasn't a Civil War era shot put?
Ooh, there we go. Yeah.
Grandma's.
Victorian age. Antique.
Shot put.
Shot put. That's funny. That's great. How many times you guys thought you had something and pull it up? Like, I don't know how many. Everyone's done this, right? You're digging, you see the edge of a shiny round object,
always.
And you're just like,
it's a washer.
A washer.
Yep. It's a washer.
Yeah, every time.
Or really,
I had the Civil War belt plate scare.
Yes.
That time in the middle of the field in Colorado, it's unheard of, right? So I'm digging. We're at this site. We're trying to find a military site. So we're at the location that we know had a military little fort. Encampment.
Yeah.
Or fort, right? Little encampment. It was more of an encampment type thing. Well written about, but not exact location. Just in the vicinity of this stage station. We know exactly where the sage station is. So we're hitting all around it. And I'm digging a target. I look down and I see this thick brass looking oval shaped edge.
Yeah.
And of course I've never held one in my hand before. So I didn't know, I know they're kind of rounded on the edges, knurled around the back. But this thing, I was like, I pulled it out. It was about that big. So just about the size. It was a 1950s cow tag, oval cow tag.
Oh,
said 101 on it.
101.
Like, so that became
that was the
old
Civil
101st Airborne.
Yeah.
Yeah. Civil War 101st Airborne Division that came through there. You always get fooled by stuff, man, but that lends itself to the excitement.
Jersey Ray says, or a grommet, not just a washer, but a grommet,
Grommets are the most frustrating.
Yeah.
Because they sound so clean.
Mm-hmm.
They sound so good.
So what exactly is a grommet? I've heard that. Is it
tarps.
Think of a tarp,
tarp.
the hole where the tarp's at.
Okay, there you
Metal
go.
grommet. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Now, I've been in a place where grommets are really cool. I went to digging in Virginia, where they put you on these Civil War winter camps in various camps. And you get invited to come to this, and that's what they do. They put you on these camps where tens of thousands of soldiers, like before Gettysburg and all that stuff, before the battle or after the battle. I don't know the whole history of it, but different sites, different campsites, right? And I was at Coles Hill, and I guess they used to issue these canvases to the soldiers, and the grommets would fall out left and right. They'd always fall out. They were grommeted. And so when you go there, you're almost like going to England. You're just finding tons of grommets. But then when you think about where it came from, what was going on then, what these people were getting ready to face, or what they had just faced, and it was like, man, I love these little grommets. Remember, I got like a Riker box of nothing but grommets, all from Culpeper, Virginia, from the Coles Hill winter camp. So grommets can be cool, but not when you find them in your backyard. That's for sure.
Not 1990 grommets.
I hate it when I find rivets, but you have to dig them. They sound
like
coins.
rivets too.
Do they not sound like coins? It'd be a little
They're
cherry,
beautiful.
little signal, nice and tight. It's like, and boom, you dig that sucker up. It's a freaking rivet.
Yeah,
You get you every time.
You ever dig we all know the old shotgun shells, like let's say 1880 to 1920, basically on the production, and then the middle circles fall out. I found
the primers.
Yeah, primers.
I found a site that I thought I was digging, barber dimes all day. I kept hitting it, and I'd get my hopes up, and it was the inside of the stupid shotgun shell. Which, by the way, I love digging. I loved digging shotgun shells until I went hunting with Tony and Ken, who are just not impressed, and they're like, "Sweet, it's a 101st Air, or do your
it's the 12th Georgia militia buttons."
The 12
and
gauge,
Jeff lost his mind.
Georgia.
Yeah, 12 gauge. I called it the 12th Georgia militia button, and Jeff lost his mind. Are you serious? Yeah, 12th Georgia, right
I
here.
fell for that
Georgia,
one too.
right there, man.
Oh, that's like Michael at our last site, kneeling down, and I thought he said seated.
I was talking to the dog. I was talking to the dog.
We all came running from like a quarter mile away.
Dog's name was Sydney. I was like, "Hey, Sydney," and he goes, "You got seated?" He fell over. No, I didn't. I think I got another memorial penny or something anyway. Well, when we were in Illinois, we learned about Bobby Beepers. Is that an Illinois thing?
Uh-oh.
You know what? I may have heard that on the Oak Island show before. Bobby Beeper, I think that
Huh.
Anybody want to comment? Is that a
maybe I made it up. I don't know.
Did
It's
Drayton say
hilarious.
it? Drayton says that.
Yeah,
again?
he
Yeah.
We
Gary
did a
may
good
have said
signal.
it.
We called it a Bobby Beeper. Yeah.
Bobby Beeper.
I had them busting up laughing with my little sayings and stuff.
Bobby Beeper.
They got
That's
to
a good one.
try Lance's favorite soda. And that's L8. We call it Kentucky Swamp Water.
That was
They got a
good.
kick out of that. They didn't get to try to ski though. I didn't have no
No.
skis on me that day.
Ah,
I moved into a new area and there's no ski anywhere. It drives me nuts. I got to drive almost an hour to get a ski.
Blasphemy.
oh my goodness.
Lance brought his apparently he drives around with his special box
Oh,
because
dude. He is Mr. Preparedness, Lance is. I hope he's watching.
oh, dude, and he brought one of his finds. It's like his treasure box. I couldn't believe the stuff he had in there, man.
He's only been detecting 2 years, dude. It's just where we live at. There's an old, wagon trail that goes through there. It's the oldest in our area, man. We just happen to live right there, and about to give away all my juicy secrets. No.
Yeah, don't do that.
Come on now.
But Lance pretty much lives right on top of the trail, and it's crazy how me and Lance met. They got to meet him and stuff and dig with him for a little bit that day, but then he had to run. But he lives like right on the old Pioneer Trail that rolls through there. That is the original Oregon Trail for our area. This trail meets in St. Louis. From there, them settlers were headed towards the Oregon Trail. So you guys like what the Smoky Trail out there, the Oregon Trail, Santa Fe.
Yep. And whatever we can get our hands on. Yeah.
Okay. This is the Goshen Trail.
Goshen.
And you either know about it or you don't, around here. A lot of people have no clue. What are you talking about? What's that? It's only the dang trail that is the reason why your house is here right now, why the bank's over there, why this is there, why that's there, why everything's here, why this street's there, why that street is named that street. It's everything. And it's so important to learn this stuff. And that's why I love metal detecting, because we detect these old trails where our ancestors came in off the trail. Mm-hmm. And here's a little ghost town that ain't there anymore, but there used to be a town right there because they came in off the trail. They buried their kin along the way. That's why there's an old pioneer cemetery right there. Mm-hmm. You come, stop at a 4-way stop, there's nothing. There's a cornfield or a bean field on each side or woods. But years and years ago, there used to be a thriving, hustling, bustling old town. And we get permission from landowners and we detect that. And we find old coins sometimes. Sometimes we find, beer cans from Baba Joe out booze cruising in the country and throws a beer can out and the combine chops it up. But other than that, it's pretty much all old stuff. And Lance lives right, on top of that trail. And he was born and raised out there. So he knows all the locals. Well, when me and Lance met, I knew him from high school a little bit. We partied a little bit way years ago. But he moved away to Florida. He moved back. So we linked up. Someone told him I detect. He linked up with me. I was actually metal detecting a ghost town. Here comes Lance. He rolls up. It's like, hey, man. I'm like, what's up? And then we just started chat from there. And he wanted to go. So we started going out. And he kind of already knew what to do. But I gave him some pointers and stuff. He started finding some really great stuff. He's already found a freaking trine. He's been detecting only 2 years. He's found half dime. Wow. He actually found his first seeded dime that was cut. He was arrowhead hunting as a surface find. He's laying on top of the ground. And then he found a freaking cartwheel penny.
Oh my gosh.
And at that same old homestead, and this is just right off the trail, and giving away all secrets, he found 4 artillery buttons, dude, that were pre-Civil War. Beautiful shape. I've never even found an artillery button. He found like 5 there. And
what was that hat that are we allowed to? I mean, nobody knows where he got it, but tell us about that pin that he has.
Oh, that little hat?
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
it's just the simplest little thing. It's an old advertising pin, but it's shaped like a freaking old top hat from the old ones from like the 1890s, Victorian era, the little, I think they call them a blazer hat.
This one was like an eagle. Like it was like that's the first thing he showed me.
Oh, you're talking about the eagle. The hat pin was cool though. Yeah, we don't know what that eagle come from. It looked like, and they call it a flag topper. You know, when they had like the old medals and badges that they'd have the eagle on top, or a topper. We think it could be that because it's pretty heavy.
Okay.
But we know it's old, but we could not put a time frame on that sucker. I don't know. It could be Civil War or older, or it could be late 1800s. I think for sure. And he found that in his parents' front yard. I mean, yeah, there's an old homestead in his parents' front yard, and the old church of that area, it burnt down years ago. They put a lot of the stuff and buried it in that yard also. So he found some stuff from there. He found a freaking Colt Navy pistol trigger assembly, the whole assembly, the brass part that goes to the old Colt Navy pistols, you know, they used it during the Civil War, the 1860s model. And that blew me away. It's like, dude, this is your parents' yard. Like, you're finding crazy stuff. He found a silver ring in that yard too, and a lot of other old stuff. So
that they used to call the Remington teardrop? They used to fire those teardrop bullets. Was Navy Colt, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, don't knock front yards, man. We did well in a front yard when we first got digging together. So front yards have been good to us.
Yeah, that was probably the most epic front yard though I think I'd ever dug in up to that point. Like
1,000%. I don't know how we beat it. We pulled how many seated out of that? Michael, you had how many seated out of that front yard? One?
Actually,
two?
I only had one, but it was my first, so that was a huge deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then DK goes from 0 seated to doubling
to 2
what I
within
found.
10 minutes.
Yeah. So he got sat twice that day.
And then Jeff pulls the Dalai Lama seated quarter.
Well, going back to that day in Illinois, there's something that gets overlooked. I think even probably by Jeff. I don't know. I know tokens aren't really a big deal for some people. They're not worth much. But Jeff pulled out this old Palmolive token, and I just love these. I mean, this one was really cool.
That was cool, fun.
It took some cleaning to get it. There's something about that Illinois dirt that just turns to concrete, but I just think it's neat. I mean, it's 100 years old. But the coolest thing is, I mean, it's got the instructions on the back of how to redeem this thing, and they called the soap One Cake. It was one cake of soap.
One cake.
Yeah. So I don't know. I like the old stuff, but tokens are cool too.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to mention that Jeff, he came at me and he was like, and Jeff was like really giddy. You could tell he was just like wanting to find like a cat bus or something. He's like, I'm in Illinois, let's dig it, yeah. And he come up to me, he's like, hey man, and he's like, what if you were us? He was like, where would you dig at? Like if you drove all the way from Colorado, he's like, where would you be digging at today? Like right now. And it's like the homesteads and stuff were cool, old school house. But I think Jeff was wanting to dig in a little deeper, like maybe somewhere that had more of a story, like a ghost town. So I was like, all right, man, you got the itch. You want to get on some Goonies stuff. So I was like, all right, I know a ghost town that we can go to. And at first I was going to take him to a Pound and Out one, but we always find stuff there. I mean, you might detect for 2-3 hours, only find like one thing, but it's usually a half dime or a flying eagle. But then I was like, you know what? That's kind of a drive. I know one, kind of close that is right on the trail, and I've never hit it. It's one I've been holding out on. And so we went to that one. And it sat right smack down on the trail, at a 4-way stop. I mean, just horse and buggies, stagecoach stop, back and forth, back in the day, all over this ghost town. So I was like, if they're going to find something, he was right. Like, I love doing homesteads, but I had them available. They were close. We could just nitpick at them all day. We wanted to dig deeper, so we went to the ghost town. It's so funny because they were following me, and I was in my truck, and Jeff was in his little car with Mike, and it was a gravel road, and I had never been on this road before. And the area is actually new because I just moved to this area. a month prior. And I look back and I could not even see Jeff's little car. And I was busting up laughing because it was just a cloud of smoke.
We couldn't see his
You could
truck.
not see them back there. It was so funny. So we went down a little bitty podunk country gravel road. I mean, it was a pioneer road. It was, and it led straight to this town. And all them old roads they all intermingle together to the old trail. But yeah, we went to this ghost town and we was like, let's knock that door. And then this older lady come out and she was just the sweetest thing ever. And she gave us permission. She's like, yeah, there used to be an old bank right here and it burnt down. But before that, there was an old Masonic Lodge. I was like, did you say Masonic Lodge?
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Nobody's metal detected it before? She's like, no.
It was all in the same building. It was a bank, a Masonic Lodge, and a mill. And she's the one that burned it down, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, everything was there back then. And I knew he was going to run into some modern trash. There was homes there, but that's part of the game. I was like, maybe we can squeeze out a halftime for Jeff or something crazy for Mike, And then tell him what you found. Tell him what you first thought it was, Jeff. But then tell him what it really was that we found out what it was. Your main thing you found there.
There's too many good finds. You can't remember what this was, I guess.
Oh my gosh. I don't. When you're gonna have to help refresh what I thought it was, man.
It was made of metal.
We seen the word. I'll give you a hint. We seen the word and we thought we made jokes and we said it's from England.
It said Saxon, and
it said Saxon.
Our minds were racing. We didn't.
It was a joke. We knew it wasn't Saxon.
Yeah.
We didn't know the age or anything. We just all we had to go by was Saxon.
We immediately thought the item was Masonic because the Masonic Lodge was there. This thing looked like it had Freemasonry written all over it. Do you got that find, Ken, to show?
Yeah, I do. I'll pull it up and let me see if I can. Yeah, go ahead and keep on going. Let us know in the chat what you think we're talking about.
That's
Something metal said Saxon on it. Go ahead and throw in the chat what you think we got coming up.
No Googling.
Okay, you don't want me to say anything? Well, here, let me put this out there. That actually taught me a lesson because when I pulled it out, like I don't know anything about the subject matter of this item, so it was Greek to me. But then Matt Michael was texting me this information on the way back, and Matt had done some research on that item on the way home, and my excitement grew over the ledge based off of we were able to find out what this thing was. So the lesson for me there was don't judge something, don't judge a book by its cover.
I texted you that night and I said, dude, this thing is in the one of these is in the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at it. Here we go.
Saxon.
So Saxon.
Saxon. Good. Oh, bye, Saxon.
All right, you can't come digging with me no more.
Masonic.
It's old.
Yeah.
And it's
Well, after a lot of guessing and a little research, this mystery Saxon emblem turned out to be quite a find. It's possibly a radiator emblem from the Saxon Motor Company, which was only in existence from 1913 to 1923. I called Jeff on his long drive back home to Colorado to give him the good news. Needless to say, we were all excited to get to the bottom of a really cool mystery find.
Hi, how about that?
Really cool.
I thought it was awesome.
And the narrator's voice, who was that?
I don't know, but he had
that
a
was smooth.
really smooth voice.
Got radio voice.
How much do you pay for that? That's pretty good narration.
Yeah. So what's crazy is that badge is from the 1920s era. Could be teens, like 1919, but probably I'd say early 1920s. And so that whole area, they said years ago there used to be a lot of bootlegging, and there was a lot of gangsters in that area. And I mean, just like Al Capone. They actually ran bootlegging operations with Al Capone. They're called the Burger Gang and the Shelton Gang. So, which is crazy because, they drove those type of cars back then. And it's just like one of them what if things. Literally, the landowner comes outside and tells us that a member of the Shelton Gang used to live or still lives down the road.
Oh, that's right.
Like, are you freaking kidding me? Like the Shelton Gang around here, the old timers, they're still scared of the Shelton Gang because there's still a fear of that gang from the old times, from the 1920s. That was in the 1920s.
Wow.
So the Shelton Gang and the Burger Gang used to get along, but then they started feuding. The Shelton Gang ended up doing an aerial bombing. I mean, they got in a plane and they dropped bombs on the Burger Gang's hideout. And I think, don't quote me, it's the only aerial bombing of another gang in history of the United States.
Oh my gosh.
So there's an old man that was a member of the Shelton Gang that lived down the road, and she told us that, and that absolutely blew me away. Wow. They had no idea who the Shelton Gang was. Me, local history nerd, I was like nerding out. I was like, oh my gosh. And it made me want to go back another day and find this old man and do a freaking interview. How cool would that be, dude? Mm-hmm. Like they are known for Southern Illinois history, the Burger Gang and Shelton Gang. Everybody knows them if you know the history. So
yeah, really,
that was a really cool moment for me.
Huh. Great story.
That maybe it came off one of the Shelton Gang members. Freaking old roadster, man. I mean, it's just one of those, what if,
Someday you're gonna find one with a bullet hole in it. Wouldn't that be cool?
Shot off.
Yeah. Hey, let's do another little show and tell here. I got something loaded up. Michael, let's take a look at your coin that you found.
This is cool.
It is cool. Here we go.
You ready?
Oh yeah, wait. Oh my gosh.
What do you got? No, dude, you got something. Oh, dude, what is that?
I see a woman.
I see a woman.
Is it a barber? Is that a barber hat?
No. It's
get some water on it. Get some water on it.
Roman.
Get some water on it. Show us the bottom of that. 5 shillings.
That's 5 francs.
What is that?
It's 5 francs. It's French. 5 francs.
Do you have a date?
What? We're about to get one.
Made of that's crazy.
There's a terrible signal.
Hold up, we got a date. 1933.
Yeah, and if you watched my channel lately, I've had a great time out with Tony and Ken and Jeff.
Yeah.
But I've had terrible luck. It's just awful.
Really?
Yeah. I've had a great time watching them find stuff, but this makes up for some of my bad luck lately.
Really cool.
Unbelievable.
Hey, you guys got 2 good finds already, and we're just getting started, guys. I mean, stay tuned. We're going to do some homestead hopping today.
Woo! Nice find, man.
Great find.
I think that epitomizes, why we hunt. You heard the excitement. Even though it's probably not even worth that much. I think I looked it up. I can't remember. It's not worth much. That's not what it's about. It's not always about, going Goonies, as Matt puts it. Every now and then you find some Goonies stuff. You find the rich stuff. But that's not why we do it, because if that's the reason, you're going to be really disappointed. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why a lot of beginners give up. I think if you watch YouTube and you see only the cuts of the good stuff, and then you go out and find nothing but pull tabs and nails, you're going to be disappointed. But again, you saw our reaction, just the not knowing what it was. I see a woman, and you're guessing and all that stuff. And then the story behind it. I found a Japanese coin, and I was lucky enough to talk to the homeowner and say, how the hell did Japanese money get in your front lawn? And he said, my uncle was stationed in Okinawa in the 50s. And so he must have come home with a pocket full of Japanese money to show the family. The family's been in his home since the 1860s. And so generation after generation had, just all kinds of different artifacts to drop from different eras at different points in history, and not just American history. So,
yeah. Guys, want to see Matt's hat pin?
Yeah.
Got to pull that. Let's do that right here real quick. Here we go. One more time.
Send it.
I just pulled out a cufflink, and then I heard a whoa. I heard a whoa, Matt. Got a whoa.
60 pounds, right on top. Check it out. And that looks like a World War I or II military pin. There's the eagle right there and sealed.
I never found one. I found the buttons, but I never found the pin.
It's the Great Seal. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. I see it. Yep.
13 stars.
Definitely World War One.
Wow.
Congratulations, dude. We're all on the board with something we just started.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. This has just been we just got here.
Woohoo!
So
Not
cool.
bad. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, that place was a mix of early 1900 stuff, but sometimes you find some 1800 stuff. Like, we dug it that day. We found mostly, besides the grape shot and a few other things, it's mostly 1900 stuff, early 1900s.
Yeah,
But I
Lance
went back,
found
a week prior or a week later and found some 1800 stuff. So
yeah, Lance found an old oil lamp topper. I don't know if that made the video or not.
Yeah, it's cool that we can look back on it. Like when you were releasing your videos, it's really cool seeing you guys all getting along and finding stuff, and it's cool. Like, we're giving Jeff a hard time because he always seems to be the first one that pulls the Goonie find of the day usually and stuff. But hey, this last Saturday was Tony. Tony pulled the absolute 10-minute in Goonie find of the day for sure.
That was crazy. Yeah, and then we found nothing else the rest of the day.
Isn't it wild how that happens? You go in and you get one or two good finds, and then it's just all downhill. It can't be just us that it's happening to.
No.
Matt,
It blows my mind. It blows my mind, like where we find things. Like why was that there?
Yeah.
Why was that there?
And why was it like one of the first finds?
And nothing else around it.
The odds are staggering to go out there and that's your first find, and then you just find nothing else.
Yeah,
It's the stories that make it.
Yeah,
absolutely, the stories. I mean, like Michael said, monetarily, it would be extremely rare that you find something that's worth a whole bunch of money. You're going to find something that's rusted, corroded, broken, but the story, the history behind it is what, man, just is insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. In England, when we went to England, over there, they have their stories, they have their tales and things that always happen. Right. And the big thing over there is you always find the best finds 10 feet from the van. I mean, I don't know how many times, countless times I've heard that. In England, you find the best finds 10 feet from the van, either the last find of the day or the first find of the day. And I've heard it so many times that the 2 times I went to England, I'll hit 10 feet from the van like crazy. And everyone else is like shotgun scattering out into the fields. And I'm like, I'm going to find that 10 feet from the van thing. Never did. Well, actually, my hammered coin was
you did.
50 feet from the van.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And how many times did you swing? You're done with the hunt. You're done for the day. You're exhausted, but you're still swinging on the way back to the van, and boom.
Yep.
Hey, Ken, Jeff wants to hear more about hammered coins. He really likes hearing that stuff.
This is how Tony gets under my skin. In our chats, he'll say, I'm going to send more pictures of stuff from England in just a minute.
Where's gold coin? I'll send some more pictures of my gold coin. Here's the edge of my gold coin. Here's the upper quarter by the date of my gold coin.
I never done that.
No.
Come on. Not yet.
Yeah. Here's it at 3 feet from the camera, and then 2 feet from the camera, and then 5 feet from the camera.
We got about 15 minutes left, guys. Let's talk about overall finds. We generally always ask, what's your favorite find of all time that you've ever found? Let's start with that. Who wants to go first? Who's got it teed up?
Matt?
Oh man, I got a lot of good ones. I would have to say though, probably it was, and it's one of them things that if somebody else found it and didn't know, they would think it was nothing. But it's a brass tag, and it says Ashley Maxey on it, and then it says my town's name and some numbers on it. And it's oval brass tag, and it's from the 1800s, probably mid to late 1800s. But the name on it is an old pioneer. Okay, this is one of those things I have found something that I can link to the past, to the ancestors. Here it is. I just forgot about it. But yeah, this find, dude, it's an old pioneer family, and I knew that family had a cabin on this old pioneer trail, and lo and behold, I found this tag with their last name on it, and I know in research that for a fact, I don't know what the tag went to. It's either off of a luggage, it's a luggage tag, or it's a dog tag, but the last name is like the last name of the first settlers that come and settled in my county off that old trail I was talking about. So still to this day, I don't know if it's a luggage tag or a dog tag. I don't know. But to see that last name, that Pioneer family last name, that really did it for me. I mean, as far as like local history, yeah, that was pretty cool. So.
Matt, if you have a picture of that, could you post it on the Relics Radio Facebook page and see if anybody, I mean, I want to see it as well, but maybe see if we can start trying to identify that, or if somebody else maybe's seen it before or something.
For sure, yeah.
I'd love to see it.
I seen an old dog tag online that looked exactly like it, and they were calling it a dog tag.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, but then I've been told it really looks like a luggage tag. But it's old stamp, like the letters are stamped in there, dude, like old school.
Interesting.
So
very cool. Hey, Jeff, off camera there. He's trying to sneak away. What's your favorite find of all time? Grandma's brooch?
No.
Man.
That was too easy.
Carson City?
Honestly, I think Carson, man. That's probably the token response. And I loved that seated quarter, 1876 cc seated quarter.
That's pretty sick.
That was a big moment. But I'm kind of in the same boat with you guys have mentioned a few times, just the personal items. And for me, buttons meet that criteria. So I found a Colorado infantry, it's like Colorado militia button before World War One, and then probably tied with, I think it was a New York.
That
20,
New York button you found, the 20th Battalion button.
Battalion, yeah. The New York button. Probably those are my favorite finds.
Yeah.
True. Great.
Yeah, I was in great shape too, that 20th Battalion button.
Yeah. And found here, I should mention, found in Colorado.
All right. Nah, what's
location has a little bit to do with that too. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, Michael.
I'd say that 12th Georgia button.
Those are pretty rare.
Yeah, that's what you told it. Tony told me it was really valuable. So, no, mine's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, one of my favorite pieces is one of the first things I found, and that was an old trolley token. There's a whole story behind it, but for sure, the one that ended up in the Wyoming State Museum. And the reason is not just because it ended up in the museum, but because that day was really weird. A lot of weird things happened leading up to that. But when I went on that property that day, I had two goals. And one of them was to find something, it was just a weird idea I had, something museum worthy, long shot, fingers crossed, and maybe something valuable. And I found both. I found my first seated coin that day and this brass advertising token from Wyoming Territory. And I thought, well, what better place, to maybe try to find a home for it than in Wyoming? So I contacted the Wyoming State Museum. It took quite a while to take it in, but ended up getting an interview out of the process. So you talk about a rabbit hole. That was just, I don't know, definitely top 10.
That token is awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
And then the fact that for those who don't know, Tony, we went back to the same property and Tony found another one.
Right. Yeah. Just very cool. Very cool story. And I tell you, the video that you did on it was so outstanding and so inspirational for me. When I popped that out of the plug, I knew exactly what it was the second that I saw it, just because of you finding it, you doing the history on it, you doing the interview at the museum. like phenomenal video overall. And I was just really excited to find one just like yours. So that was really cool.
Thank you. And I don't want to spoil anything, but I know you've talked about maybe doing a little more in depth.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Right. We've all got these videos in the
click subscribe.
Oh, geez. If we can ever just get them recorded and put out on YouTube, right? All these ideas.
Yep, for sure. I mean, it was, what made that so amazing? Because if you would have found that token anywhere else, it would have been awesome and amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And wow, this goes back to the day, because you try to go back as early as you can in Colorado, and that was pretty close to back then, and
that's like us.
But the location you found it in,
right? The location
that just tied to it. That's
makes it even better.
That's about as old as it gets around here. I mean, to find anything that says 1843 on it is like, it may as well be Roman.
Yeah,
for Colorado.
Yeah, it's like finding a belt plate in a Civil War camp. You know what I mean? Or something like that. It's just tied to that. The Civil War camp was there, and you find the belt plate, or you find a bayonet, or something like that. Like it's right up there with that. Not because it was where it was found. It belonged there. It absolutely would have been there, and it just tied to that time period, that era, that place, what was happening there.
It had a date. It had a location. I mean, Wyoming wasn't even a state yet. I mean, as far as Colorado, Wyoming history goes, that's just, you don't get much better than that unless you find gold on the Oregon Trail.
That happens.
Yeah, you guys.
We had a question a while back. I know we're kind of limited on time, but I really wanted to ask this question. Ohio Relic Hunter, and I'm assuming, Matt, this is probably more for you. He asked these guys in the area of any fur trading routes. Do you know of anything down there in Southern Illinois, fur trading route wise? Is that something that you look up or follow?
Actually, if you've seen the movie The Revenant, George Glass, that whole situation, that fur trading group was actually a real fur trading group, and they headed or started out in St. Louis. So those were fur trappers. I'm only an hour away from St. Louis, east, and so all those fur trappers were from the surrounding areas all around here and around St. Louis. So the old trail I was telling you about, it leads right to St. Louis. So yeah, fur trappers all over that trail for sure. So
that's cool.
I do, and they're called Ashley's 100, by the way.
Ashley's 100.
Yeah, I think they were called the Rock, and that was their nickname. And then they were the Rocky Mountain Fur Trading Company.
Wow. Very cool. I know that B. Bouchard in the chat said that he found his second French trade axe a couple weeks ago. He got Deus 2. He's running the WS6 Master, and he's loving it. So congratulations, man. That's a great find. If you guys missed last week's show, I encourage you to go take a listen to it. It was a really great show, talking all about copper culture and the fur trade. Relics with Alex. Yeah, I learned a lot too. We definitely have to have Alex back on. We talked about LiDAR. We talked about how he finds his sites. He showed just tons of pictures. It was basically I felt sorry for the people that download the audio on that episode, because it was truly a show and tell episode. You guys need to definitely go check that out, but especially if you're interested in fur trade and copper culture, for sure. That was really fun to focus it all on that. And since then, like, I've hooked, for some reason, like, some of the either Facebook or YouTube, once you do something, it shows you 100 of it. You know what I mean? Like, I started getting these videos shown at me about fur trade and copper culture. There's a couple other guys out there that kind of exclusively doing that on YouTube. So I've subbed them, and been cool watching their videos and stuff. So pretty cool. Absolutely. Well, great, man. I think, Matt, you've got to come out this way now, buddy.
Yeah. We return the favor out here in Colorado with you.
Is it really returning the favor?
Maybe Ski Searcher can come out to Colorado and go skiing.
Hey.
Oh,
and then we go searching.
I ski. I've never skied in my life, but that is something that's on my bucket list to do, and I know you guys probably been skiing it and snowboarding up over there.
Since we were born.
Oh, of course.
Do you guys just get like snow all the time, or is that
It's snowing right now?
Yeah, look.
Yeah.
Whew, it's
not
bad
always.
out there.
Actually, Colorado gets like more sun than hardly almost any other state.
Do you got to go up? Well, obviously in the mountains it's snowing.
Yeah.
The mountains get a good amount, but down here where we're at, it's essentially, from Denver north and south, it's considered the plains. We're out here and we don't get much snow, and if we do, it's usually gone the next day or so. But yeah, you go up in the mountains and they have feet of snow, of course.
When I moved out here, Matt, like the first time I flew out here is sort of go explore Colorado because we were thinking of moving out here, but I'd never been here. I thought the plane would be coming into land between these mountains and everything. I thought that was Colorado,
Right.
And man, we went over the mountains and all of a sudden it just flattened out to Kansas, and I was like, are we in Kansas? Did we miss the airport? But yeah, once those foothills stop, it's flat all the way east through Kansas and all that stuff. So most of us live out on the flatlands in the metro area, and then we can go west and get up into the mountains. But you know what they have here, Matt, is they've got, and correct me, I don't know all the pure details, but I think 5th grade, it's free lift tickets for anybody in 5th grade. 6th grade, same thing. They call it a graduation pass. So, I mean, they really groom the local kids here to become skiers and grow up on skis. And a lot of parents start them a lot younger than that, 3, 4, getting them up on little skis. It is a big industry for sure.
Have you ever seen the movie from the 80s, Ski Patrol?
Yes.
Way back in the 80s, yes.
Yes. I remember that.
That movie made me want to ski ever since I've seen it since I was a kid. I freaking love that movie, dude.
That was back in the day. Try to watch it these days. See what you think.
It still hits for me. It still hits. I seen it just on Tubi the other day, actually. It still hits. Watch it.
Okay, what's funny is they actually, because obviously the ski industry is so large in Colorado, on the ski lifts, people tend to lose things off the ski lifts into the snow, and obviously they're going to be gone. Once the spring comes and the snow melts, people actually go up and search underneath the ski lifts, and you find phones and sunglasses and money and rings and those kind of different things. So that's actually a thing out here.
That's a great idea. We'll go do some real ski searching.
Yeah, ski searching like that.
Anywhere they used to sled in the 1800s, early 1900s, you find a good sledding hill, and that's anywhere. Man, you're in the chips. They're going to be dropping jewelry, all the grandma's coins and brooches, and
that's it. Just all about it.
Grandma was on the sled, huh? She was on the toboggan.
Oh, man. We gotta end it on Grandma's brooch.
Grandma lost some things. I love that. I love that thing.
I think somebody thumbs down me when I talked about Grandma before, but I don't know how that works. How does it work?
If you make the sign, usually that thing pops up.
They were in Australia. It means
I don't know. Matt, give us a thumbs up and watch what happens on the screen. Matt, give us a thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
No, look at that.
Oh, look at that.
What?
Wow.
Okay.
What? I want to try.
Here I was like sitting here the whole time like, oh, somebody doesn't like what I'm saying because I kept seeing the thumbs down.
Oh, shoot. Hey, it was a fun night, guys. We appreciate you coming along and you bring us in on the story. It's always cool when we can all get together. When you're local, it's easy, but I got a similar, hopefully I got a similar situation coming up. My work's going to take me to South Dakota here not before too long. And so I was kind of reaching around on some groups and stuff and been like, hey, and somebody like listens to the show reached out and they're like, hey man, I dig South Dakota all the time. Where are you going to be? Turns out we're going to be right in the same area. So hopefully we'll be able to hook up and go, have them show me the ropes out there because, but I've been doing a ton of research too. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'll only have, a number of hours in a single day probably to go out and hit it, but looking forward to that. So you guys are an inspiration of getting together over miles and states and just keeping that camaraderie of metal detectorists going. This community is great. You guys are examples of that. So I take my hat off to you and wish you all a bunch of well wishes. Matt, continued success to you out there hitting those ghost towns and those home sites and finding those grape shot, man. Come on, you gotta. There's got to be more out
It's
there.
out
right?
there.
I text Matt and just kind of feel sorry for myself that that I'm still working on my appreciation for the difference between the Illinois history and the Colorado history. But, you know, it's a maturity thing, I think. And Matt's like, dude, it's all good, man. I haven't dug one of those yet. Because I'll be like, hey, Dan, did you dig you probably dug 2 doubloons last week. and he's like, dude, I haven't even dug one of those yet. So it's still talk.
The struggle is still real a little bit in Illinois. It's further east than y'all are, but like we're not popping largies like the East Coast are, like they're hot cakes. You know what I'm saying, or anything. Now they are here probably more than over there, but yeah. And then like flat buttons, you know, we don't always find them all the time. You know, you got to do some research to find some flatties, but they are here. You know.
You know where all the large scents are. They're over in
Civil War
Ohio.
stuff too.
They're all
no
in
battles
Ohio.
here. There were no Civil War battles here, so you know you got to work for those sites too.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can find some older stuff here. But just like Mike was saying, further east you go, it's like state by state. You know, it gets older and older and older. And man, I wish I lived in Pennsylvania or Virginia. Oh my goodness! I know, Ken, you were just on vacation, didn't get to dig any, but you was all over there. How giddy was you over there?
Totally. I could flick a quarter and hit history, like amazing history. Anywhere I looked, it was, I was really appreciative too, because I didn't know how my wife would take to kind of this historic kind of vacation, but she was all about it. And I was just like right on, because like we went to, everywhere, man, from north to south. We hit a lot on that East Coast, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Hey, it's all
Giddy.
relative. I'm happy with the buffalo nickels out here. It's all relative.
Yeah.
You did. Hey, you dug a buff that day too, Mike.
That's
you forgot
right.
about
That's
that.
right.
Yeah.
Did do the buff.
I made a joke. I went to the Revolutionary War Museum and I'm taking pictures of the buttons on the coats. So that's what I was taking pictures of. Like, oh, cool! Look at that 18th Corps button. Look at that 52nd, foot regiment. Oh my gosh, so fun. Hey, last words, Michael. Give you last words. We'll go around the horn. We'll put you down in the green room, and then we'll end the show and say our goodbyes off the air. Michael, go ahead, man. Yeah.
First thing, thank you to all of you. Thank you, Matt, again, for being such a gracious host. We had such a great time. Before I go, I wanted to tell DK, Tony, and Jeff that I just got permission. We're eventually going to go detecting at a property and get the synchronicity here. Property where President Teddy Roosevelt once stayed.
Whoa!
I wanted to tell you on air. But yeah, that's it. Thanks again. I really appreciate it. I had a great time.
No problem.
Perfect. Jeff.
Yeah, obviously Matt, thanks for the great day out, man. That was a blast. What I wanted to say is let's do it again. Let's do it again sometime. Thank you all for tuning in, and I hope to hear from a lot of you. I hope to have a channel at some point. Definitely not slowing down on the detecting. Just passionate about it. And again, I'm thankful for my Colorado crew. I tell them all the time, but yeah, you guys know how blessed I feel to be digging with you and able to go recover and share those, those special moments that only a detectorist can understand how special that is. So
very cool.
Thanks for having me on, and thanks for putting up with me during our hunts.
It's cool, man. Matt, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, Ken and Tony, thank you so much for having me on once again on Relics Radio.
Yep.
It's been a blast, and lots of laughs as always. And Jeff and Mike, hey, it's my pleasure, man, for being your guys' tour guide and good old Southern Illinois. big difference in northern Illinois now. A little different there.
The northerners.
But I know we got a bunch of farm fields and stuff here, but hey, you can do some metal detecting around here. There ain't much here. When they were here, there's not a lot to do, was there? But hey, there's plenty of places to go metal detecting, and that's why I try to show these guys that, look, we got some history too, and this is the best history I know around here, so I'm going to try to put you on some of that. And like I said, I wanted them guys to find something more than me, and they found some cool stuff, so that really made my day. Wish we could have detected a week together.
Yeah.
But like I said, we had tons of laughs, man. I mean, we were just cracking jokes, and I think they love my Southern Illinois lingo, and I love their Colorado lingo. We just kind of vibe, man. We hit it off right off the bat, as soon as they pulled up, in Jeff's grandma's car.
I was waiting for that to come out.
I roll my window down and I say, man, I expect you guys to roll up in a truck or SUV, and here you are rolling up in grandma's car.
Oh my goodness.
It gets great gas mileage, man.
That's what it's all about.
I bet it does. But yeah, man. It was all laughs. Like I said, if you got a metal detector, you're automatically in the club, man. It's just like having a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Thanks,
cool.
guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Matt. All right. You want to put him in the green room, Tony? We'll say our goodbyes, and then I'm smelling dinner cooking upstairs.
Dinner? What's she got for dinner?
I think she's cooking sausage and peppers.
I'm not too far from you when I'm up here. See?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, hey, I just wanted to, obviously, the show really touched a lot about the camaraderie of the community. And I think those three really, the epitome of that, where you can reach out to somebody just their graciousness, just saying, hey, come detect with me. I'll put you on a site I've never been on. And then be able to share that history. And it's just amazing. The camaraderie, you find best friends as soon as you hit the community, just like I have with you. And, I know I've been blessed with the community, and I think Matt, Jeff, and Michael also felt that same digging out there in Southern Illinois. So, yeah, great show. Loved having those guys on. Great stories. We could have talked for another 2 hours probably, and more about finds and laughs, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's always cool when you do stuff with like-minded individuals and you guys can all get together and enjoy it and stuff. I'm really glad that all came off and turned out the way it did. So excellent. All right, let's get out of here, man. Thanks everyone for joining us. When you go out this weekend, make sure you have some fun. Go find all the good stuff. Make sure you tell me about it, and tune in again next week for another episode of Relics Radio.
Thank you so much for listening to Relics Radio. We will see you back here next week for another exciting guest. Until then, get out and dig it all.